Hey, what's going on, guys? Just figured I'd bring you another video here. Today it's going to be yet another build project. This time I'm going to be building another, well, it's going to be another quadcopter, obviously. Hence the ESCs and the flight controller there. But this time it's going to be a ZMR180, so it's going to be smaller. And this ought to be interesting. But anyway, so I've got the ESCs laid out. The reason why is because I'm going to be soldering them to the PCB in this little anti-static bag. And I've already got the flight controller all set up. I had to solder on a few pins. These ones right here on this side. Right there. So yeah, I had to do those. First time ever doing that. Wasn't a big deal. Just never done it before. A little bit tricky, but it's not bad. Not really decided whether I'm going to use this case or not. I probably won't, because I'd rather just mount it via, nylon standoff, stuff like that, instead of using double-sided tape, just because. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I do have the motors as well. Unfortunately, I don't have the frame yet, so I have to wait on wiring up the motors, so that won't happen yet in this segment. I just figured I'd do the intro part of this video, and I will wire up these ESCs and, to this power distribution board here, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I got the ESCs wired to the power distribution board, and so yeah. I don't think it looks too bad. It looks better than the last build I did. Of course it kind of looks a little bit sloppy because of all the flux that kind of oozes all over the place. Gotta clean that up a bit, but other than that, not too bad. So it's probably going to be a few more days until the frame gets here, and then I'll be able to solder out the motors and all that, but of course you guys won't be waiting long. It'll be like a second for you guys, but so yeah, as soon as I get the frame in, I will continue with the next segment. Alright guys, so I got the frame in. It did take me a lot longer to get the frame than I thought it was going to take. It took almost about a week and a half to get it instead of a few days, so I apologize for that. And please don't mind my my ghetto white background here. It's just basically just printer paper placed on my little table here, because a black frame against a dark brown table is not going to show up very well. So let's go ahead and check this out real quick before we continue on with the build. So as you can see, that's the main frame there. That's it. It's pretty small. So that's that. And you got the top plate right there. Should zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better, but let's see. Crud. Actually, that's not going to work. So alright, I apologize for that, guys. But I mean, you guys can. I want to get an overall shot of it, so probably I can do this. How about that? Let me just hold it up real quick so you guys can see it a little bit better. There's the top plate there. As you can see, not too bad quality. And here is the frame, right here, which you can see it's pretty decent. It's not too bad, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Yeah, so I do that with one hand, for some reason. But, so that's that. It's not too bad. So that's that. Oops, you can just put it down that way. It's not going to hurt, I'm sure. Then you've got a sorted bag of other goodies, like your little posts and your rubber isolation mounts. The camera plate, which is going to be coming out next, actually. Same thing as the 250. So that's that. As you can see. Trying to get a little glimmer of light off it there for you, but there we go. Okay. I apologize if the focus is a little bit out of whack, so it's trying to focus on two things at once, the table here and then my hand, which camcorder is not too quick to react with that. But it is what it is, so again, I apologize for that. And then you have your sorted bag of screws, which they're all the same screws, it's just 6 screws for the posts. There we go. And then you have the, there you go. There we go. You've got the FPV camera plate. So there's that. And then of course you've got the feet, which I'm not going to be using these. You've got 4 of these guys here. I use them on the 250. I'm not using them on this because they don't last very long. A few hard landings and they're pretty much shot after that. They get loose and all that, so I'm not dealing with them. But that's pretty much it for that. So why don't I get started, putting this thing together, and yeah. So just give me a few minutes to get myself set up for that, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I've got the post installed on the bottom plate there, as you can see. Don't mind that, it's just my phone. But anyway, as you can see, I haven't put the top plate on yet, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do that right this minute, because I'm still waiting on a receiver that hasn't shown up yet, and that's another annoyance because it's taking a lot longer than it should, just like the frame did, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. I mean, they did come from China, but I don't think that's the main reason. But anyway, it's probably one of the reasons, but not the main reason. But again, anyway, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically solder up some bullet connectors onto the ESCs and the motors, and I'm probably going to shorten the wires up because the arms are rather short on this guy. So let me get everything set up for soldering, and then I will be right back. Alright guys, so I've got all the ESCs and the motors soldered up. You can see I've got bullet connectors on the ESCs, as you can see there, and there as well, and all the motors are all done as well. So I just figured I'd give you guys a quick update on that. I still gotta install stuff on the frame, as you can see. So yeah, I will go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so I've got pretty much everything on the frame. I'm just waiting for a receiver. I've still got to install the top plate as well, but I'm going to put the receiver on the top plate because that's the only space to be able to put it in there. Oh, controller's going off. Hold on 1 second. Alright guys, sorry about that. I didn't want that beeping the entire segment of this video. It would have been really annoying, I'm sure. But I got pretty much everything installed, as I said. Still gotta button up a few things here and there, like the wires got to be managed a little bit better for the ESCs and motors. I did mount the ESCs on the bottom, but I will be getting feet for this, so they should be all right. Basically, the same feet I have on the 250 will be used on this. They're pretty good feet. They're kind of expensive, but they've lasted months on the 250, so I'm sure they'll be just fine. And I don't mind paying a little bit of money for quality, you know what I mean? So once I get the receiver and I get everything buttoned up, I'll come back with a finished product. Alright guys, so obviously I got the receiver in and I've got everything buttoned up and it's all ready to go. I did take it out for its maiden flight just a few minutes ago, and even though it's running on a 250 ZMR180 tune, it does actually quite well. There's really no problems. I'm surprised, because I figured since it was smaller, it would be a little bit finicky with that. But it didn't seem to be too bothered by it. With having a tune for a larger quadcopter, using that for its tune. Yeah, obviously. But so I do want to say something about this setup here right now with this battery. This will not be the main battery that I'm going to be using. It was just for the maiden flight. It can handle it, although yeah, it looks, well, for one, it looks ridiculous. Two, it's a little bit heavier than it needs to be for it. Not that it can't handle it. It can handle it just fine. Punch outs, they're okay. They're not perfect. I mean, 4-inch props. So seriously, that's not going to be that great. So with that much weight, yeah. But let me just give you guys a quick little rundown of what I did here and how I had to set everything up. So give me 1 second. Alright, so if you guys look in here in the top, you can see there's the receiver right there. You're probably wondering, well, Joe, you got your straps around your receiver. Is that a really smart idea? Well, only time will tell. that's the best I could do for that. I did have to move it back quite a bit because where I had it positioned before, where that strap is where those pins were, where I have my connections made for my receiver and the voltage sensor, which is sitting right over, actually it's right back there. Anyway, so yeah, it would have probably caused a lot of stress on those pins. So I had to slide it back a bit, and then we have the antenna wires. If you look right here, you can see them. Yeah, it's not super tight on them, so it should be okay. I purposely had, I've been making a conscious effort to make sure that I do not tighten that strap down super tight because of that. Got Velcro underneath the battery, so it should stay put, shouldn't slide around. So, it should be good. I will be doing that with the other battery again as well. Similar configuration to the 250. Got the flight controller, 90 degrees. From the center, it's not, or from facing forward rather, it's not facing forward as it should be, just to make it easier to plug it in. Power distribution board is on the bottom. Didn't make the same mistake I did with the 250. I don't know if I mentioned that in that video, but I did try to put it in the between the two plates. Don't do that. You will fry it. Even if you put electrical tape, you'll most likely miss a spot and you will fry it. I did that. It wasn't pleasant. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Same motors. Even though I just said it was pretty much it, I kind of lied. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to lie about it, but same motors as the 250. LEDs, 2 instead of 3 this time because couldn't fit 3 on the arms. Didn't work out. We have a single LED on the front, and yeah, no LED in the back on the bottom because, well, there's a lot of wires there. It's not going to work out. But let's see what else. Some of my wire management back here. Could be better. Did what I could with that. Same thing with the front ESCs there. Got my cable, my antenna wires and my zip tie here. A little bit longer on than the 250, but that's alright. They were actually initially a lot longer than that, but I felt it looked really ridiculous. So I was like, you know what? It's really not necessary. So, let's see, is there anything else? No? Just your typical run-of-the-mill run cam there on the front there, and yeah, typical connections on the bottom. You got your voltage there on the very top. I got a VBAT connection as well as the voltage sensor for the telemetry soldered directly to it. I didn't want to deal with the pins on it. It didn't work out very well on the ZMR180, so I said, you know what, I'm not even going to try in the 180. Just solder it right to it. Solder connections, they're alright. They're not perfect. I'm not going to say they are. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that can do a hell of a lot better job than I can. But, hey, it works. Flies just fine. Got my little LED wires running to the arms. That was kind of a pain, a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will give you guys a flight once I charge up this battery. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a good day.